Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Amani. I am a caricature artist and painter in South Africa. And if you're not new here, what's poppin'? I'm so glad you guys came back around. I'm sure you clicked on the video because you already saw the title. No surprise there. I am going to be talking about a certain business or a certain product that I did really well with in the first month of just launching it. And you know, the purpose of this video just to show how unprepared, how random, and how just like non-expected the whole freaking experience was, because I was not I didn't plan anything. I didn't have any sort of structure or setup behind me that really helped boost the product. It was honestly just the product itself that did all the talking. But without further ado, sit back, relax. I hope you have your tea. I hope you're somewhere comfy. Yeah, I hope that a lot of value can sort of come from this video. Cool, let's dive right into it. So like I said, as I'm sure you guys know from the intro, yes, I sold a product, and the first month of launching this product, I made 13,000 Rand. Now, this was back in 2022. This was not recently, but it has always sort of stuck with me as like a, oh my God, like I did that, which is really cool. So what the heck was the product? This was the product. It was custom pet caricatures, 100%. Like, I sold them as little A5 or A4 drawings, and I drew people's pets in my style. Now, these were all drawn with markers, so these like alcohol markers, and honestly, it was the first time ever using these markers. Like, I never used these markers before. Back in 2022 was the first time I ever did markets. And I drew people on the spot, and I would draw people's pets there, and I will definitely speak more about my market journey in another video, because I think there is a lot of value to be said from that, to be gained from that as well. But yeah, the first time I ever freaking picked these up was to draw this, and this was the product that made me 13,000 Rand in my first month. Now, I did not do any hard launch. I didn't advertise this product. I think in total, like before I launched the product, which was also so random on its own, but I think in total that month, I literally spent like 230 Rand, which I don't know how much that is in dollars. Let me Google it. 230 so I spent about $12 that month on my advertising, literally just boosting posts. Like, I didn't even know what I was doing when I was boosting the posts. I was just like, hey, maybe some people will like this. I literally just boosted it to my area, I think around where I still live currently, but I just did the neighborhood or something like that, like a 5-kilometer radius. I did not go balls to the walls crazy. It was just super chilled. In fact, somebody from the market, because at the markets I was doing I was drawing like people's pets on the spot, so they would send me a photograph. Again, I will dive deeper into that whole journey, but people would send me photographs at markets of their pets, and I would draw them for them, and they would like go walk around, and then on their way out they would like come and pick up their drawing. So one person was like, hey, can you just add color to that? Like, I think that'll be really nice. You can do it at home. I will come and collect it next weekend. I'll be at the market. So I was like, sure. So I took the drawings home, I drew them, I needed to color them in, and honestly, I am not a pencil girly. These beautiful colorful pencils you see online. Anyway, moral of the story was I did not know what I was doing. I literally just picked up some markers. I was just like, let's just do that. And then I just took a bunch of photos of them and I put them on my Instagram. I boosted that post. I was like, hey guys, I'm doing these. Now, the trick of it was that they were super cheap. Like, the first like launch of this product, I just wanted to see if other people were interested. I was like, hey guys, like, it's out there, like if you want one, like message me, you know, like I'm sure I'll only get 1 or 2. And it's so typical, isn't it? You always hear that where people are like, I just wanted to make an extra 200, 300 Rand this month from like a side hustle, you know, and boom, that side hustle freaking goes balls to the walls. And I always think of that every time I'm trying to like launch a new product. I'm like, the ones that I put so much heavy energy and expectation and pressure on to make me a lot of money, in a few months I'm not even doing them anymore because I'm just like, nobody likes this, they like this one instead. It's always the product you don't see coming that just like really kicks it off for you. Anyway, so I boosted that post. Now the kickoff was also that I was selling these at first for really, really cheap. This, the first time I launched this was 50 Rand, 2022. So 2 years ago. What is 50 Rand in dollars? $2.60. So let's say just under $3, not even. Let's say $2.50 because this was 2 years ago. Just probably $2 2 years ago is what I sold these for. At the time, I didn't have the bigger pages. I literally just had the A5 and people went crazy. People went so freaking crazy. Like while I'm sitting here with my nails, but like I used to write down like all my orders in a book like this. The person's name, like what they ordered, and if they wanted delivery, because then a lot of people were like, oh no, like we actually want delivery, like can you deliver this to us? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And I don't know what the hell I was doing at the time, but anyway, like I had like a little order book and it would show, because like then a lot of people just wouldn't order one, they would order like 5. So my order value was a little high up. It wasn't anything crazy because again, like one product was like 50 bucks. And so then I would like, you know, write down their order, if they wanted, how many they wanted and how much it would be and if they paid and everything. And this, I had like pages, just pages full like that. And then I would have to like cross it out and if I did their order or whatever. And I didn't have any website. There was no formal place to go and actually purchase the product from. It was all just on Instagram. People just send me a message. Or I think my number was also linked on my Instagram, so then other people would like WhatsApp me, and I promise you, like I was bombarded all the friggin' time. Like when it was quiet, even though I was still busy with orders and still drawing, but like people not messaging me, I was like, what's going on? Like this is so weird. And dead ass, in my first month, I made 13,000 Rand from this, from selling such a cheap product. So you can only imagine how many freaking drawings I did. I think halfway through, I did bring up the price just a little bit. I think like up to 80 Rand. And I did sell an A4 for like 120. And after that was like, I was like, this shit. I was like, oh my gosh, like they want an A4, not an A5. Bring the champagne, you know? Like, I got so freaking excited. I thought I was the balls to the walls, and I just drew all the time. It was so cool. Like I figured out my whole packaging system and like a place down the road where I could go and take all the posts, like the post mail, the delivery guy, post box, something like that, but not really a post box. Like if you're in South Africa, you know, what's it called? Like those boxes that you like you freaking put your mail in and then the courier guy comes and collects it, you know, like taxi or shit, stuff like that. I don't know why I can't think of the name right now. And I was like, they were like my savior because like I didn't have to charge so much. The shipping was more expensive than my product, bro. Anyway, so yeah, it was super exciting. I got all my packaging sorted and I tried to make it like super cute and super nice. And I would take them every Monday. I'd have all my like things and I'd go and drop them off at the freaking post box thing. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And I made some pretty cool money, even though not all of that was profit. I got this number specifically from doing my taxes. Like when I was doing my finances, then I saw, oh my god, like this month I made this much, and that was from EFT and also from like the Yoko. I bought myself a little Yoko for the markets, which is really, really great. And I could also send out payment links with that Yoko, which is really nice. So that's what I did. Yeah, just checking on all my analytics and everything, I could see that this was how much I made. But yeah, not all of that went to my pocket. Most of that, well, not most of it, but a good chunk was delivery fees and also just buying supplies and packaging, because like so these markers are so expensive. And like 2 years later, like I still actually haven't figured out, like I figured out late that you can just refill the ink, but I used to just go and buy new ones again and again and again. So yeah, I stopped that. And before I go into the story of like why I stopped and why I didn't do that anymore, I don't do pet caricatures anymore. Well, like I do, they're on my website and they're cute. But before I get into that, I just like wanted to reiterate that the moral of the story is like, when you've got a good product, you've got a good product. Like you can't help it. Like the gods want people to have your product. Like you don't have to force people to buy your shit if you've got it. Point blank, period. I think that goes with everything. I think that goes with content. You don't have to force people to watch it. If people want to watch it, and if God wants to get it out there, and please, like, I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual, I'm holistic, and so I've got a very like holistic approach to things, and I did mention that in my introduction video, I think, but I am definitely going to mention God a lot and the universe and all that jazz, but yeah, like if God wants, like, he's not going to gatekeep good shit from other people. Like he's just not going to do that. Like if you've got a good product, if you've got good content, like if you are what people want to see and people want to buy from and all that jazz, like it just explodes. There's no forceful energy. I think there's definitely something to say about how much we low-key lie to ourselves about what we've got going on, about the content that we post, about the product that we sell, about the business that we've got, our services. A lot of the time, the results speak for itself. And if you're not getting results time and time and time and time and time again, I think that's just a conversation you have to have with yourself. Like you got to constantly check yourself. You've got to constantly check your business. You've got to constantly be looking to change shit up or try new things out. Like when you find a winning formula, that winning formula just works. Like it just works. Like you don't have to, and I've heard so many people say this, like you don't have to have a fancy website. You don't have to have all these things figured out. And people spend so much money on websites and advertising and freaking all these things, sometimes even business coaches. And I think that's awesome if you can go and spend $3,000 for one session and a guy just sort of telling you a bunch of cool tricks. Like that's really, really cool. Like I would love to be able to invest in mentors one day and just, you know, expand my knowledge. But also if you got it, you got it. And the results speak for itself. It's like, please show me a sign that this works. It's working. Is it working or is it not working? Please show me a sign this is gonna work out. Is it working out right now? What's gonna change? What's something different that needs to happen? And so I think being super, super self-aware and being able to like tune into the very, very subtle nudges that the universe, your spirit, your gut is trying to tell you, like, this isn't exactly it. You need to tweak this, you need to tweak that there. And I think it also just goes to show like how like no pressure was put on this. Like I literally was just like, you know, like let's just like, let's just put it out there. And then the minute I did that, it just exploded, you know? And so one, don't try too hard. To a certain degree, you know, I still ended up working my ass off drawing all of these things, but I didn't have to work my ass off forcing people to see the value in something. And I've always used that as like a reference point, you know? It was a really, really great experience for me just to see like, oh, okay, something can work. It's not me. You know, sometimes we take things so freaking personally. We're like, oh my God, it's not working. What's wrong with me? And it's just like, okay, maybe it's just not working because it's not it. Maybe it's just not it. You know, like, have you ever thought of that? Can you just step outside of your fucking ego just a little bit and just realize that maybe it's not giving. It's not giving what it needs to give. You know, and that's why it's not selling. That's why it's not working out. And that can go with freaking anything. Like you don't need a fancy ass fucking anything. You don't need this and this and this and this. Like you don't need a website. You don't need a ring, a fancy ass expensive ring just to show that your relationship is something. Like sometimes if stuff's not working, it's not it. It's just not giving. And I can use that advice like for a lot of stuff because yeah, let's get into it. I stopped doing this a couple months after I launched this because, oh my God, like I got so burnt out and I got so over it. Like I was like, okay, that was great. Thank you for showing me that I can do that, but I'm over it. And like it got so boring And I got so infuriated having to draw these freaking animals day in and day out. And I only did it for a couple months. Only for a couple months. When I see these pet like artists on social media that are still going for it like 2-3 years later, commission work is stressful. Let me just tell you right now, like if the client doesn't like it, if you don't see your client's picture the way your client sees the picture, it's chai. They want you to redo it, or they don't like this, or they don't like that. Like it takes a lot of work to it takes a lot of time and energy to work up the confidence to really freaking know what you're doing, how to work with clients, how to deal with them. Like I learned so much in this period, obviously because I was working with so many clients, but you know, I wasn't always happy with the results. Like Rocco, for example, was actually a commission. This was an order and I drew him and I was like, oh my God, that's so bad. Like, let me redraw this. Why? It's cute. And I've had it on my wall ever since because yeah, commission work is so stressful. Like it really is. Like if you're one of those artists that found the sweet spot, that know how to sell and make a decent ass living off of the product that you just know you want to make without having to do commissions, like you're selling artwork and you do well from that, like well done. Because personally I'm still on that journey trying to figure that out. I've always just done commission work, and so yeah, eventually I got hurtful. I was over it. I was done with it. I was just like, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. And I still had so many people just message me because they work out, and people who knew each other and what, all got my number, all got my Instagram. Was like, hey, are you still doing pen portraits? Like literally the other day I got a message like, hey, are you still doing pen portraits? I was like, oh, you know what, like let me just chuck it on my website again. Like my price is skyrocketed and it's not going to be 50 Rand anymore. Like I can guarantee you that. So if I get an order, it's cool. It's a bit worth something and I can take my time with it. But yeah, the moral of the story was that when you got it, you've got it, okay? Remember, I had nothing backing this up. It was just the product that spoke for itself. You know, the minute you've got to freaking hire people to talk about your product or this and that, like I know it's different, like for huge organizations and huge corporations that sort of need to really sell stuff. Like, I don't know. I've never done that. I'm a small-time creator, but I've also just seen with other creators online, you know, them doing super well. I've never once been like, why are they doing so well? Their stuff's so shit. No, actually it's not. Their stuff's really good. Their products are good, they look amazing, they're authentic as well to them. I think that's one of the things that sold, is because the style is just different. Like it just hits different, you know, and it was just me doing me. Like I wasn't trying to prove anything to anybody. I was just like, here you go, you know. And like that's when you're most authentic. That's when you're not pissing against wind. That's when there's the least resistance like coming after you, you know. And I know like a bunch of people might watch this and be like, oh my God, but I've got this product that I've been trying to go for. It's okay, just breathe. I'm sure you love your product and I'm sure somebody out there does also love your product. I think just as long as you're doing something you love and it's coming from a stress-free place at the core. Business is stressful, but your connection to it cannot be tainted with so much pressure. It cannot be tainted with like too much, like you needing something to work out sometimes makes it not want to work out. I've just learned, because this story and this experience of mine is not to say it's going to be like that every single time. It was just to say, look, maybe you're trying a bit too hard at whatever you're doing, because if this came so easy to me, and before that I was really struggling. Like I was struggling to make art. I didn't know what I wanted to do. This honestly was just like, it just fell in my lap. Like really it did, after years of me struggling, not knowing what I wanted to do. And it was also like advice from other people, you know. I didn't like wake up one day and just feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna do this. You know, it was a customer that asked me to add color to their pet caricature that I was doing at the markets. and their products like snapped, you know, like what the customer wants, it was a vibe, you know. And so that's also another piece of advice, just like listen to your customer, listen to your audience. Like, what are they coming to you for? How do they want it done? How do they want it presented, packaged, delivered? What works for them? Just listen to them. Don't feel like you need all these things in order for something to do well, you know. That goes the same for content. What kind of content did the best out of the other ones? Just listen to your audience. They're also humans, you know. I think we just forget a lot of the time just how human. Is my camera weird? Is that better? Like, I noticed it was, I feel like that's so much better. I feel like that's so much clearer. Girl, did I have to, couldn't I just have cleaned my camera? Anyway, I'm gonna leave it. Another thing, and the last thing, the camera quality looks so much better. I think oh guys, I'm so sorry that you had to watch it all murky. Okay, one last thing is this. It's all fun and games to have a product that wins and, you know, you doing really well financially, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually, if you're not doing well, it is not worth anything. The stress, the anxiety, if you just like, I have so many people in my ear being like, Amani, just get over it. It's still such a great product. Like, just, you know, keep at it. Don't stop. And I really had to just like dig deep inside me and just be like courageous enough to not listen to them and just do what I knew what was right for me, because honestly, it killed me. I didn't want to draw anymore. Like, I did not want to do this drawings anymore. I was doing well from it, but I was depressed as shit, and towards the end, which sucks because it's such a light-hearted product, and like it did so much damage to me at one point that I couldn't even look at art again. And maybe that's what it was all about. It was like I was creating stuff for other people that I didn't even really enjoy making. I had no time or energy left to make art for myself. Like, all inspiration was out of the window, you know. And that is something that maybe I will talk about again when I get a bit more clarity on what that's all about. Because being an artist, a commission-based artist, I think like tops, like hat off to all those artists out there that do that, you know, doing stuff and creating for other people. Like, it's hard. Like, I don't want to do this, you know, I want to make my own shit. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? And this is our livelihood. Like, as an artist, artists can relate. This is our livelihood. The camera looks so much better now. It's not worth anything. And I think you'll realize that afterwards. Like, if you are lucky enough to find a balance where you're happy and you're financially stable, like, you won the game. Like, that's when the game is won. Your health is so much more important. Your mental health is so much more important than the hustle bustle. Like, straight up, if you're lucky enough where you don't need, where you can just find the balance. Like, just know that, like, you don't have to like stress your shit out. Like, if you started a product and you started a business and a couple of years later you fucking hate it and you can't leave, just leave. And like, that's the moral of the story. A couple morals of this story. Another moral is clean your camera screen, your camera, before you press record. I will never forget that. I'll never forget to do that. That was episode 2 of my episodes. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you was valuing this, and please like, comment anything you want to know about down below. If you want to chat about stuff, message me, follow me on Instagram. Yeah, if there's anything else you want to know, I can't wait to make another video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and stick around a little longer. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video so that other people can see it. And I will see you guys ASAP Rocky very soon. Bye. Yeah, it's just, I need like an outro. I need like a let's be happy together. Peace. We'll work on that. Bye guys.